Edwards on the drive, goes inside the block. Turn him over again. Booker scoops it up. Booker brings the boom.
That is right. We are back. We are live. It's been a while, it feels like, since we've been on the show. Yesterday, only 2 games because of the national championship game, which was an exciting ending. We had obviously haven't been on the show since Friday, so a lot has gone on. I mean, MMA happened. We had live finals. Ovechkin scored a goal. I don't know if you saw that, JSU, in the national championship game. Have you ever seen any game end like that? And what I mean by that is, have you seen anyone go to take the last shot, and we've seen him pass it, we see him make a mistake, but I've never seen him just drop the ball and then not get a shot off. I haven't seen that one. Am I wrong? Have you seen that before?
Yeah, well, normally what happens is they know they're going to get their shot blocked and they pass it somewhere and turn it over or something like that. But
sure,
you don't normally see them just drop it. You normally see them either they get the shot blocked or they try and throw an errant pass somewhere. But yeah, you don't normally see that.
When you do that, when you try to pass it, you at least think you're going to make a play to someone else. When you drop it, no one's getting it. You know what I mean? There's no play to be made there.
Yeah, and he probably didn't realize how much time was exactly left on the. There was plenty of time for him to pump fake I think he was just he was coming off that ready to shoot Mangone, and he was ready to shoot. He just didn't realize the defender was waiting for it. So that's just that's how it goes. What did the team? They led for the entire game, right? Houston. They led the entire game, and then found a way to fumble it at the end. So
yeah,
that's what happens. It happens. So
what did you think of the Nuggets? That was a big thing too. We do not have our Nuggets homer on the show to discuss, but
no,
that was shocking to me. I did not understand that.
That was shocking for a couple reasons. One, we're so close to the playoffs. But two, I kind of thought that Malone and Jokic seemed to have a pretty solid relationship from a player-coach standpoint, a superstar to coach standpoint. And for that to happen, I mean, it's kind of wild, I guess. There had to be some serious rifts in the organization. And yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Michael Malone, but he definitely he does know how to coach. So yeah, I don't get it. I think it's dumb to fire a coach that close to the season, but who knows what they were thinking. And I honestly didn't read much. Did anything come out about why?
I saw someone posted a Westbrook quote, which I wanted to watch. It was a video. So I didn't know if he maybe was hinting at something. I haven't seen anything yet, but I'm like you, Jason. It doesn't make any sense a week from the season. So that's kind of my thought process. Also, CMOS, turn your microphone up, please. There's 2 people here. Whose microphone has issues? Who let's be a little specific. If you're gonna criticize us, I'm gonna criticize you back. So you gotta be better at this.
I think that's a friendly criticism. If one of us is a little soft, we can definitely turn the mic.
But Jason, my point is, how will we know? I have no idea who it is.
Yeah, no, I'm saying though, I think he's trying to be friendly with it. So
he said, "My guy is right."
So Don usually says that I sound perfect, so it's got to be you.
No, it says my guy to the right. You're the right. You're on the right.
Am I the right?
Aren't you? Maybe you're the right on my screen.
Am I the right on his? Yeah, I got to be the right on his.
Here's a good way to do it. The dude who looks like Khabib or the dude who looks homeless. Let's go with that.
I don't know. I'm coming for you right now. So I'm coming for you right now.
Rod hoodie. RPS hoodie. We both have an RPS hoodie, but you like,
he's now he's fucking with us. I think now he's
we
definitely.
both have an RPS hoodie. Oh, JSU up and man go down to mute. That's a good.
All right, let me see if I can turn the mic up a little bit. So,
C-Moss is trying. C-Moss.
I turned the mic up a little bit, so it should be good.
Hat. He says no hat. It's so. I think your mic sounds a little different, but it's not bad to me.
So, do I sound better now?
Yeah, it sounds. I don't know. It doesn't sound that bad. I mean, it's just like it sounds like there's a little echo. But
I don't hear the echo.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bothering me. I'll say that. So it's not a big deal to me. But we already got questions like Misi or Toppin. We'll get there, Bacon. We'll get there. We got time. We got all the time in the world. So
yeah, I think trying to mess with my hold on. I'm just gonna do the thing where I come out and come back in. Give me a sec.
Yeah, try it quick. I will stall. I'm sure Binaire, you need to have me you need to have me talking now because then it would just be silence. So yeah, we'll try to get it. C-Moss, I knew exactly what you were talking about. It was like a weird echo thing, but I don't know. It doesn't bother me. I know it bothers other people, but it didn't bother me. So we will dive into the slate when we get JSU back in the chat. Should be a fun show. We got a lot to talk about. I heard Bobby Portis is back. Congrats to Bobby Portis. JSU, talk.
All right.
Yeah, it actually sounds better.
All right, there we go. So
yeah, it sounds different. It's just that there was a weird echo, but it's gone now. And
beautiful.
Yeah. By the way, Binaire, he normally watches the shows on mute, so I don't even have to mute him.
Yeah, how does he even know? Binaire.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Caleb, good news. We have not started the show yet, Caleb. So we're diving in now. We talked about Malone. We talked about the national championship. We talked about JSU Sound. So we're diving in now.
The big MMA card this weekend. I know everyone wants to talk about Masters and NBA. Big MMA card this weekend.
We got time for that. Let's wait till Thursday or Friday. I will say,
fine.
Can we talk about that one judge that ruled that guy 30-27 who was getting his ass kicked?
Oh, the Finney fight. Yeah, that was terrible. Yeah.
I actually watched everything. I watched all the fights this weekend, and that was horrendous.
I mean, to be fair, he didn't win the fight, but he did nothing with those takedowns. Like he did absolutely nothing. He shouldn't have ruled it a 30-27 though. He could have ruled it a 29-20. It was bad. It was bad. He won the fight, but he did shit with the takedown. If that guy did like anything, Mangone, then I could see it. But the other guy did absolutely nothing because he just kept getting taken down. So at a certain point, you got to be able to stop takedowns in MMA. I get it though. He did nothing with them, but that was really, really bad. At some point, when did like the judges get held accountable? Like they need to start getting hit for like bad shit. Like, you know what? You get suspended for 2 weeks for something like seriously egregious, like that. No, there needs to be like a committee that is over these people because it's just some of these decisions are terrible.
Well, that's like the refs in the NFL. I mean, there's never accountability. It doesn't matter. I mean, we've seen it here and there, but not that often. So, all right, we do got to talk about the slate. We got to dive in. Yeah, Juice, no Patrick Corbin talk. I don't know if someone rostered him, but this is not a baseball show, so you are good.
I will not talk Patrick Corbin. You're safe.
Correct. The equivalent of Patrick Corbin might be the first game. It might be the Charlotte Hornets. They are the equivalent to Patrick Corbin. Never want to roster them, even when they project well. It is early in the day, but ownership-wise, I am seeing no one above.
Why are they on every slate?
I know.
I swear to God, every slate that I'm on a show, they're on every fucking slate. This team, I literally can't stand.
We can't escape them. All right, so KJ Simpson, 5,400. He is the highest owned guy right now, 5%, mainly because of some of the injuries they got on their team and the usage. They do have someone named Jalen Sims. He's a point guard. This is not the not the Sims from the Knicks a while back, who's now in the Bucks. He's a 3K guy. Not saying he's good, but he is a point guard there. Nick Smith Jr. is another point guard. So those are going to muddy up the situation for KJ Simpson a little. Miles Bridges and Mark Williams. We currently have Mark Williams is in, but Miles Bridges is questionable. I should mention the injury stuff there. So that's an important thing to note. And then the Memphis side of the ball, we can obviously talk about it. Looks like John Morant is going to be back. Vince Williams Jr., he is going to be back as well. So Memphis is going to be a bit more crowded. Zach Edey, I said it last week when he was 4,600. I said this man will be in the mid 5Ks soon. And hey, we are here. Soon enough has arrived. 5.4K for Zach Edey. And it's a match against the Charlotte Hornets, which, like, you know, that's a great matchup for center. So it's really hard to argue with him as a pretty good value at 5.4K. Has a pretty good projection over here at Run Pure. We got him for around 30. Jaren Jackson, Bane, Morant, they're all definitely in play. The highest owned guy looks like it's going to be Ja Morant here. JC, typically I like to be able to just like kind of X out some of these earlier Charlotte games and kind of stay away from them and attack some of the news. But we have a crowded team that I don't think is bad here. I mean, I think you can make the case for any of those three studs and Zach Edey. So that's kind of where I'm at. I also understand Memphis could spread it around a little bit more in the minutes, and maybe none of these guys get here. But we have to talk about Memphis and then Charlotte. I do think this is not a bad stay away spot as long as Bridges is in it. Bridges is out, that would make it a little more interesting. But on such a big slate, I do think even if Bridges happens to be in, I do think we could avoid the Charlotte Hornets. Curious to get your kind of guesses so far on what we're doing with this game.
Yeah, so the problem is Memphis plays at a pace where, like, normally you'll have some interest in the other side. I don't see it with Charlotte. Maybe if Bridges is out, maybe Mangone, we can come back to the table and look at them. But even KJ Simpson, and he's good, but 5'4", I don't know. I think point guard's going to be pretty loaded today too. From a value and a stud standpoint. So I don't really love it. I do think that on the other side, though, John Morant at 8,900 is a solid option if you want to spend up a point guard. And I think Zach Edey, who you brought up, is a good mid-tier center at 5'4". I think those are the two plays for Memphis. The Charlotte side's a little more muddy to me because you even brought up the Sims kid who they got now, who can get some minutes. Nick Smith Jr.'s in there. I don't know. They just don't seem as thin, Charlotte, even with Bridges possibly being out. So, I'm not paying 8.3 for Mark Williams. Yusuf Nurkic is priced out with Williams in. Daquan Jeffries. These are just not great plays. And on a slate where we're going to get good value plays, Mangone, I just don't see the need to push these guys.
Agreed. Also, CMOS, you are now fucking with us. Actually, no hat. So it's hat and then no hat. There's just so much going on here. So we're going to leave it. We're going to keep powering through unless I see more people than CMOS in the chat. If your name is CMOS or Binair and you're complaining about a mic for today, I think for the day
I think CMOS took over Binair's role of lead troll of the show.
He's doing a good job. He's crushing it. He says he's not trolling.
Not though. All right.
Well, we're gonna keep powering through. But if you could hit that like, we would appreciate it, so more people can come in and talk about how bad our mics are. Yeah, I'm with you, JC. The biggest point you mentioned was Charlotte's more crowded than I think they've been in the past, right? So I don't think we're going to have to load up on them. They have a lot of guys. I count 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I count 11 guys. That's with Bridges. Even if Bridges is out, it'll be 10 guys. I don't know what they'll do minute-wise, but that is what we're going to have to wait on. So that Bridges news is definitely something that matters. And good news, the mic is better. So, the update. Mike is doing good. Let's get to Washington and Indiana, JSU. Definitely a spot we'll talk about. Mr. Pascal Siakam. He's been missing some games. He has a questionable tag today. Also, I will call this out before we dive too deep into this game. We have 4 games locking at 7 o'clock. And we got 2 at 7:30 and then 2 at 8. So it's a little bit of a faster slate, but a lot of games to manage in the first window. And one of them is going to be the Pascal Siakam news. Not only that, Ben Ben Shepherd, he is questionable. Then we have Freeman, David, and Ray J. Dennis, who've been questionable, it feels like, all season long. But the point I'm getting at is Pascal Siakam news matters, right? They are playing the Washington Wizards. We've talked about it, JSU, on a bunch of these shows. We've said, hey, studs are playing the Wizards. We need to consider them. Bam Adebayo was a great example I mentioned the past show not too long ago. We talked about the Kings. Like, these guys are just in play. And honestly, if you tell me Pascal Siakam's out, Tyrese Halliburton has to be a really good play. Miles Turner, who had a monster game the other day at 6.1K. I think he played against the Jazz. He got 40-plus DK points. He's definitely going to be in the conversation as a pretty good play. A Benedict Mathurin and Andrew Nembhard, they could pop up a little bit usage-wise if a Pascal Siakam is out. And with that questionable tag, if he is out, Obi Toppin, who's gotten a price increase from 4.3 to 4.7, still think he's in play going up against the Washington Wizards. It makes a lot of sense. So I think this Pascal Siakam news is going to matter a ton. We're going to like Pacers no matter what. Even if Siakam's in, I still think there's reasons to like some of these Pacers. Mainly the stud options is what I would get to. On the Washington side of the ball, I've been an Alexander Sarr guy. 6'2", I don't mind him. You could argue center is just too deep, but I don't think he's a terrible play. Coming in at 24% ownership, along with Carlton Carrington coming in around 22%. He projects pretty well. He's been starting, getting good minutes, and then it'll be Jordan Poole. Likely one of those wing guys in there, like an A.J. Johnson or like a Kaishan George. Could be a Champagny. It'll be one of those guys in there. I'm not super excited about Washington JSU. I think Sarr and Carrington are fine, but when I see them both at 25 and 20% ownership on this slate, I kind of lean staying away from them more. And then I definitely like this Indiana side. I like Halliburton. I like Miles Turner. Those are two guys I'm definitely interested in. And of course, if Siakam's out, I will love getting exposure to Obi Toppin. JSU, I'm curious how you're handling this news here.
Yeah, I don't actually mind the Washington guys as much. I kind of get the Sarr love from the standpoint that they're missing a couple bigs, Mangone. They're a little light with the centers, with I think Vucevic and Holmes both out. So, I do kind of get that love with Sarr, and I don't mind it. And I like Bub. The only thing with Bub is he's super inconsistent, but it goes both ways, right? And for tournaments, it can go really good, sometimes. And he's getting the minutes, 41, 37, 41. I actually played him in that Orlando game where he got me like the 50 burger. And that's just the upside that, he can bring to a slate. And when you got a team like Washington, who's, really not playing some of their main guys, like big minutes, you want to play the guys that are at least getting the minutes. And right now that's Bub, you know what I mean? Right now he's one of the guys. And even Sarr, like last 2 minutes, 32 minutes, Mangone, that's pretty good for him. Honestly, I complained about Sarr for a while this year because he was only getting in the 20s. And, if he's getting in the 30s, like I think he's in play. The other side, Indiana, I kind of agree that it's a good spot. Miles Turner is a good play if Siakam's out. If Siakam's in, though, I probably won't play Miles Turner. I think he's still in play. I think people will still click his name because of the price tag. And, I probably won't. But at 6,100, he definitely makes sense. Halliburton is a really good play. It's just if this game stays close. And I think if it stays close, you're going to get like one or two of those Pacers to hit. If Siakam's out, I think we can look right back to Obi Toppin. I don't see why not in this matchup. He could definitely crush. TJ McConnell's actually been pretty good for tournaments, Mangone. The problem with him is just the minutes are never going to be there, but he's been really, really good. 27, 30, 26 fantasy points. And that's against, not Washington. You put him against Washington.
Yeah. Matchup's amazing.
Yeah. So maybe he's someone that I would keep in the pool as well and play a little bit of, Benedict Mathurin's minutes are extremely volatile up and down. I don't know if I can do it, but, he's got upside as well at the price tag for tournaments. So, Yeah, Indiana side looks pretty good. On the Washington side, I think I'm a little higher on those two guys just because I think they got upside at those price tags.
Yeah, one thing I should call out, like, I don't think the minutes are ironed out properly on the SAR situation because I see some of these minutes for Gill and like JT Thor. I think they're going to play the 5, but I don't think those are like ironed out properly. And I'm seeing like SAR around 28 minutes. And like, yeah, sure, he could play 28, but if he plays 34, he's going to be an even better play. I do think that was a good call by you with like, hey, if he gets over those 30 minutes, he's definitely going to be a better play. So I want to wait and see how those minutes kind of iron out.
And he did it last 2 games.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. They definitely don't have, like, their backup's going to be Gill or Thor, right? Like, I don't see any other real scenario of a backup. Unless they go, like, Obi Toppin at the 5, and then they magically go, like, Champagny at the 5, but, like, or George, but I doubt it.
No, I think they'd go Gill or Thor.
That's my kind of thought process as well. All right, next team up, Atlanta and Orlando. Listen, this is a pace up and a pace down, right? Massive pace up for the Orlando Magic. Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner, all in play. Cole Anthony, I know he's been there at 5.2K. It's definitely a good matchup if he's going to be starting, which I assume he starts. We'll have to see, though. But, yeah, KCP, maybe he can pop off in this matchup at 3.8. Might not be a value that we want to get to. I will go over the injury news real quick here. So injury news is pretty simple. Mainly Toppin's out, doesn't really matter. And then Trae Young, he is probable. So we're expecting him to play. My issue is, and ownership reflects this though, JSU, everyone is below 10% in this game. And why is that? Because it's like a giant pace-up team versus a giant pace-down team. Sure, at 10-1, could Trae Young pop off for a big game? Yes, he has the ability to, but he does not project well. I don't like him here. I don't like Dyson Daniels that much here. I mean, less possessions. What does that mean? Less opportunities for steals and blocks, which is what he does. Onyeka Okongwu, he is 8.4K. That feels like a crazy price tag to spend on this slate as well. And then I should mention the opposite side, the Wendell Carter Jr. 5K, definitely not a terrible play, right? One of those like last guys in, condom plays, you want to call it. But that's all we got here for me. I think I'm mainly sticking to the studs, right? Banchero, Franz Wagner, not terrible plays. In MME, you can make a case to keep some of these cheaper guys in the pool, but I wouldn't want to get overexposed too much to them. What's your thoughts on this game, JSU?
Yeah, I definitely don't want to be overexposed too much to this game. I think the clear plays are Paolo and Franz and how you want to, go about that. Obviously, different positions, small forward, power forward, but I think Paolo's the, one of my clear spends that I like on this slate. And I'll tell you right now, this slate, man, the spends don't look that great when you just look at it on the surface with the price tags. A lot of questionable guys, too, that are up top. So some might end up being better that right now we don't have clarity on. I think this is a clear spot where whether you play Franz or Paolo, I kind of lean Paolo over Franz, but whether you play one of those guys, I think they're both pretty good plays and spends that I can sell myself on. So I'm going to be heavily exposed to these two guys, I think, in tournaments. Both have massive upside. It's just going to depend on where I can spend based on the value that this slate gives us. So, yeah, I want them. I'm probably not going to play Trae. I'm probably not going to play much of Atlanta. I mean, I don't really see a ton. Like Niang's 3,500. I'd rather not. I just don't really love it. So, like Karis LeVert, I think is interesting. I guess 4,600. Maybe you could leave in the pool, but not the best matchup in general. So, yeah, I want to be on those two studs and probably nothing else, really. If you're, like I said, if you're 150, and I'd keep LeVert in the pool for sure.
Yeah, one tricky part to this slate that we'll mention, because I think it matters to this slate a lot, is the Lakers news. So Luka and LeBron, two expensive options that you mentioned, they're both questionable.
I'm going to be stunned if they both play.
I'm with you. Stunned because why, JC? What happens tomorrow?
They play tomorrow in Dallas.
Correct. And our guy Glock will be at the game, so he'll be having.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's nice.
He'll be
I'll just say this, man. I'll be interested how many people they sit. Is it just LeBron and Luka? Do they sit Reeves? Like, do they go all in for tomorrow?
So I was looking at the standings, and like, in my opinion, like Lakers are six, so they're like 3.5 back from the Rockets. Pretty difficult to catch. The Nuggets they're a game and a half up on. I assume they're okay with just punting one game to winning another, right? It's OKC too. It's not like it's a easy match anyways. And they look like they have all their guys today. So it's like, why even like try to push it when you just win that Dallas game?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know why you would push it. Spencer says that I got to make sure you get more rest. Spencer, I can't put this dude to bed at night. Like he's a grown ass fucking man. Like he's got to stop being up at 4 a.m. or whatever he's doing.
I slept
playing COD. I don't know what he does, but a bunch of yawning. I'm hearing it too. Chat's hearing it. Bunch of yawning from Mangone.
I slept good. I don't know if I just need another cup of coffee because I'm trying to think. I've only been having one lately though, so I don't know why. I don't know why that's happening. Because
coming down off that caffeine high.
Yeah, I haven't been having that much lately, so I don't know why it's. I've like even when I've like gotten like a soda, I've been going with just like Sprite or like a juice, right? I haven't even gone with like a Coke, so I've been. I don't know why I'm yawning so much, but
still got some sugar in there, coming off those sugar highs.
It could be that. I would agree.
Can you play both Orlando studs? I never do this. I will say though, Mangone, the way this slate kind of sets up, it's not a terror. I don't think it's as bad of an idea, depending on how many studs actually get axed because of how expensive some of these guys are. But I normally don't play both together. Thinking.
Also, someone's asking for FanDuel plays. If you look, JSU right below him, there's a DraftKings logo. So we are going to talk DraftKings here. If you do want some updates on the other site and that, you can sign up in the Discord. We'll help you out with that. There is news in that game that matters. I get it, but we're talking DraftKings. It is our sponsor here. And JSU, while I say that, we should mention if you play $10, right, or you deposit $10 onto DraftKings, just $10. You get a ticket, another $10 ticket to the Millie Maker on Thursday for the Masters. So definitely worth doing. You just got to do that. Do you have to do a code, JSU, or is it just depositing?
Nope. Just obviously opt into the promo they have in the promo thing, and then deposit at least $10 and $10 ticket for the Millie Maker contest there. So. Wow. And you can play it. So get in there. Get in that Millie, $10 Millie. We'll have PGA shows. I think there's 2 PGA shows tonight. There's one at 7, and then there's one at 8. I think Keith and Wiley are at 7. AP and Snyder are at 8 tonight on this channel. And then tomorrow we got 2 shows. 1:30 with me and Tony, and then 8, I think, members only show with JBC, Bryce, and Sully is coming on, making a guest appearance on the show. So if you don't know Sully crushes DFS. You might want to check it out. It might be a pretty good show.
Yeah, might be a good show. Someone just said the Lakers roster's a full go, and I just saw some news coming. There's no way they're playing them all.
They're all in?
They are. They're all in.
Oh, boo.
LeBron's in, Luka's in, and Reeves is in. They're all in. It just came through. That's
all right.
Crazy.
Maybe everyone but Luka sits tomorrow, and Luka just goes ham for like 50.
It could be. Yeah, I will see. I'm surprised they're playing it, but all right. Well, JC,
honestly, I'm careful with the Lakers tonight. They know who they play tomorrow.
Yeah, it's we'll talk about it. That's the last game of the slate. Thank you for dropping that news in there. Let's get to the next game up, Chicago and Cleveland. Definitely an important game to discuss. You know why? Donovan Mitchell, he is out. they're missing guys, so that's going to be good for Darius Garland. Big boost to him, 7-8. Evan Mobley, who's been crushing it, he's going to be 30% owned. He projects great, and I think he's a good play. He gets the Chicago Bulls matchup as well. This will be a good spot for who? Ty Jerome as a value. I think he'll be a pretty interesting play. I don't think he starts, but I could be wrong. DeAndre Hunter as a value. He'll be in play. Max Strus, 4K. He's clear value. Jared Allen, he's not going to be a bad play at 6-7. So those are the main guys. And, of course, you can mess around with like the Okoros, the Merrills, the Wades. Those aren't for me. JSU, the Jalen Tysons. I'm not super excited about them. Both side of the ball, we should talk about it. They are dealing with some injuries, and it's going to be an important thing to mention here on this slate. Let's see. I'm losing it. Lonzo Ball, he's out. Herter's out. Trey Jones continues to be out. The two big ones, Giddey and Vucevic, they are questionable, along with Kobe White, who's already out. So a lot can change if Giddey or Vucevic sick, and if both sit, right? That would just be slate changing. You'd be interested in Patrick Williams, who already is someone that's going to project pretty decent, a Dalen Terry, a Talon Horton-Tucker, even a Buzelis. So that news is going to be really key, JSU. This is going to be maybe the most popular game on the slate. I'm sure you're going to want a lot of exposure to it. So how do you rank these plays in this game?
I mean, it should be very popular. You're getting a team in Chicago who is pretty much resting. It looks like majority of their top players. If, Giddey and or Vooch play, then that would throw a little wrench into it. You're still going to get some good plays, though, and some good values. I'm thinking they sit, but we'll see. We don't have to really guess. We'll get the news before the slate locks, which is good. But in that scenario where they all do sit, Mangone, you're talking about Patrick Williams being kind of popular. He's fine. I want guys though that can like create for themselves a little bit. Like Talon Horton-Tucker, like he can create for himself. Like he can get his own shot. He can get others a shot. He can do a little everything. I think he would be a good play. Buzelis can create his own shot. I kind of like Dalen Terry as a player. Zach Collins is obviously good, like 3,500 for Zach Collins, Mangone. I think you'd be interested in Zach Collins at that price tag starting. So there's just a lot of plays that look really, really good right now if these guys are out. And it's kind of just how you rank them. So for me, if all these guys are out, I think I go with Collins, THT, then Buzelis, then Terry Williams in that order. Maybe Javon Carter I'd throw in there too, just because they'd be lacking at guard for sure. And Javon can create his own shot. So I think that those are the guys I would be interested in, Mangone. How do you rank those Bulls? Because I do think it's a good thing to talk about here.
If both guys are out, is the
correct? Yes.
If both guys are out, so they'll need a ball handler, right? Like they won't have one. So
no, their ball handlers will be
Carter and Talon Horton-Tucker.
Who?
Talon Horton-Tucker and Carter are probably the two ball handlers, right? That make the most sense.
I think so. You might see Buzelis handle the ball a little bit too. Yeah. He can handle it.
Yeah, he can play more point forward. I assume Zach Collins, not saying he ball handles, but I know he commands usage, if that makes sense.
He likes the ball at the top of the key. So.
Yeah. So I'd rank it. I'd rank Zach Collins number one because you need Vucevic out. Then from there, it's it's probably Buzelis to whoever the starting point guard is, Carter. You could put him at maybe 2 over Buzelis and make Buzelis 3. It just depends who the starting point guard is. And then Talon Horton-Tucker, especially if he's starting, I think with the usage he commands, he would become like 3 or 4 on that list. And then it'd probably be Pat Williams or Terry for me. I know I'm not as high on them, but
if Carter starts, then I'd shoot him up 2 to like 3, probably.
Yeah. it's just hard to know without the news. But Collins would definitely be my favorite. The only argument you could make is center is just so loaded where like, okay, like does it make any sense? I don't know.
The thing with Collins is I think he gets decent run regardless of how the game flow goes. So that's always good in theory. And I like just because I don't think they want to run Jalen Smith really. But he's 3K too.
Yeah. I'm with you. I think it's Collins over Jalen Smith, unless the starters say otherwise.
I want a yawn count. What's the over under? I think we've gotten 3 already on this show. What's the over under set at? We going 5.5 here?
It's definitely
we're already like halfway through the show.
It's definitely an over. I'll say that. So.
I think it's an over easy. Yeah. This is like that Torres Finney takedown line where I told you guys it was set at 5.5, and I was like, they can't set this line high enough. He's just gonna get as many takedowns as he wants. He's a friggin' animal. He's so friggin' good at takedowns. Not good at anything else, but takedowns he is good at.
No, it's fair. If I could go, make a cup of coffee right now, it wouldn't be the worst idea. But
I mean, you could go because Cleveland. The other side is you got plays in this game too. I mean, the bigs. I think both bigs and both point guards. Like those are the plays here, Mangone. Jared Allen's had a lot of success against Chicago this year, but a couple of those games, I think 2 out of the 3 games, no Evan Mobley in those games. So that kind of makes sense with Evan Mobley in. It definitely takes away from Jared Allen a little bit. And I do like Ty Jerome a lot. So I think I like the bigs, Garland, Ty Jerome, in the order of, I think I want one big, Mangone. I don't think I'd play both bigs in the same lineup. I could play both guards. The only problem is they're both point guards. Like no shooting guard eligibility kind of stinks, but it's just going to depend on if I need more value or if I need, a stud. Because I do like Ty Jerome. I think after Mobley, he'd be 2, then Garland, Allen, 3, 4. If I had to rank these guys, I would definitely put Max Struss and guys like DeAndre Hunter after them. They'd be like 5, 6. And I'd probably keep it that way. I don't see anything else from Cleveland, but they're definitely good plays if this game stays close. I think those bigs crush.
Yeah, so I agree with the Ty Jerome stuff. Even if he doesn't start, I think he's a good play. So I think that's worth mentioning. If he doesn't start, don't panic. So
I don't think he does start. To be clear.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I do have news on Mike Malone if you want, JSU. So we talked about it a little bit, but Mike Malone likely would have been fired back in 2023 had they not won due to a conflict between him and Calvin Booth, which I assume is an owner or something like that. One of the guys.
He's the GM, I think.
For the GM.
Calvin Booth.
He got fired too. Never mind. He was the GM. And then, because I thought the owners were someone else. And then another thing to add, JC, this is tied for the latest coaching change in NBA history. Do you have a guess at who and when the last coach was that was fired this late? It was before you were. Yeah, it's tied. So it's like the longest. Yeah, it's the same exact date. I'll give you a clue. It was before we were born.
Before we were born.
And he's also, this is another good clue. He's been like an announcer in the league for like a very long time.
Shit. What's his name?
The late great.
Oh God.
No.
Huey Brown.
Yeah, it's Huey Brown.
Okay.
It was Huey Brown with Memphis. And then one last thing, because again, we talked about it earlier at the show. You wanted more news on it. I
beat the chat too. I beat the chat by a second. Caleb got Hubie.
Yeah, so the reporting today, and this was from Shams, the most shocking in-season coaching firing in league history with the Nuggets dismissing Mike Malone. And then he adds, and players left surprised when informed. So it sounds like the players didn't know. So
I will just say this. It felt like to me he had a pretty good relationship with Jokic and Murray. So
yeah,
I'm not a Denver insider though. Um, I know that in the past there was rifts with him and MPJ. I would assume that was more squared away now, but who knows? That's interesting though. Well, I'll have to get Tony to get the dirt from Mahrez. He'll know. He'll have the dirt.
no, he'll definitely have the info. So I'm excited to find out. That was a good game, obviously, that Cleveland one, but we will get to the next game. We got to talk about Celtics and Knicks, and that's another situation. Injuries piling up. For one, Al Horford is out. He's out because he was at the national championship game with his son last night. Makes a lot of sense. Not surprised. Jaylen Brown is questionable. Drew Holiday probable. Porzingis and Tatum both questionable. And then Derek White's probable. And don't worry, Jalen Brunson is back with Deuce McBride. So wheels up for the Knicks. They got all their guys. Celtics, they'll be banged up. We don't know how many guys they'll have in and out. Of course, we know it's just maintenance for the playoffs with this Celtics team. It's hard to even break down the Celtics without the news, so we'll just wait for that news, I guess. We'll be in the Discord chat. Use that code RPS15, get 15% off, and we will help you out. And the Knicks side of the ball, they're healthier. Price tags are still fine. Like Mikal Bridges is 5'6". You could certainly make a case that you could play him. Like OG's only 6'9". I don't know if you saw, but OG's been absolutely getting buckets, JSU, and he's got his girlfriend in the crowd. So he's been showing out for her. So I can definitely still make the case for OG. I don't want to really make the case for OG, but
is she gonna be there? Is she in the crowd tonight?
It is in New York, so I don't know if she's in the crowd, but if she's in the crowd, I'm interested. I'll say that. So
she was like a gold medalist, something like that, right? The chick he was eyeing.
Yeah, some Olympic chick. So
OG got good taste, man. He's going after those Olympic chicks. Smart man. Smart OG. High IQ he might be. I will say that about OG.
He's not a man of many words, but it sounds like he's got.
That's all right. You don't have to be. So sometimes ladies like that, when you just man a few words, that you let them talk, man, go, and you let them just go off. I do this with my wife all the time. You know what I mean? I'll just sit there very quiet, just listen. You just listen, man, go, take it all in. They want to tell you about their day. Not that you care as much, but that's okay. That's you just pretend to care, just saying.
It's a good thing she's not in like the other room right now hearing you say that. I'll say that.
She is at work. So no chance she's watching the show. And no chance she is home. So, and no recording devices or anything like that. So she can't listen back to this later. And she won't rewatch the show. So we're good. I'm clear.
We're in the clear. All right, talk about this game though, JSU, because I don't have a lot to say. Again, though, there is ownership on Josh Hart and Bridges. Like they're above 10%. I don't know what to do with the Celtics, but smooth operator. Yeah, good call, Juice. Caleb just sent her the link, so you're watch out.
I've actually tried to do this stuff to her while she'd be like at work, and she's like, I have an emergency right, because she works in the emergency room. So like she doesn't give any fucks and she doesn't sugarcoat anything. She's like, stop fucking around right now. I'm working. Like, yes, ma'am.
Yeah. All right, JC, though, break it down for me, I guess. There's not much I like in this game, so it's hard to figure out what to do.
Thank you, Scott. I agree. See, Scott knows. Scott's been married a few years. I will just say this. The Celtics price tags are ridiculous. So when we get the inevitable, this guy's in, this guy's out, man going, it still doesn't make me think like these plays are amazing plays. Unless a bunch of guys are out. That's the only way that the Celtics kind of get me. They already have Horford out, which makes me kind of think Porzingis might be in tonight. Tatum or Brown probably sits. I forget who sat last time. Was it Brown or Tatum? I think it was Tatum sat last game. So maybe it's Brown tonight. I don't know. And then we'll see with Drew and White. But even Pritchard, they pushed Pritchard up to 6,500. it's just really tough unless we get like a few of these guys. Like Mangone, how many Boston Celtics would have to be ruled out for you to be like, yes, 6'9" Drew Holiday, I'm in. You know what I mean? Like how many Celtics?
I would definitely need Tatum out, and then
Tatum or Brown, or definitely Tatum.
I need one of Tatum or Brown. I need two of the three. So like one of Tatum, Brown, Porzingis. Like two of the three, I should say. Sorry.
So okay. So not White or Holiday. You just said one or two of Tatum, Brown, or Porzingis.
Yeah, because those are the only guys questionable, right? Like even if one's out, I'm not jumping
Right.
like 6'9" Drew Holiday, right? Like I need two of them out.
That's fair. That's fair. And that kind of makes sense too. Like if Porzingis is out though, Mangone, then I think it becomes more interesting because then you get like they don't have that many bigs. You know what I mean? Like they're thin with no Al Horford. That's what makes me feel like we're going to get Porzingis in. So what's probably going to happen is we're probably going to get Tatum in, Porzingis in, and Brown out is the most likely thing. But if they do rule out two, I would agree with Mangone. Then we can look at a Derek White or a Drew Holiday. Shireman's actually really good. They just have too many good players, and he just unfortunately some games doesn't get the run. But when he does get the run, he is good. So if they rule out enough guys, I mean, like he's 4K. That's the only problem with Shireman too, which sucks. So yeah, I'm gonna have to need a few of these guys to get ruled out to look into Boston. New York, I also don't love New York. I Brunson back, OG still been playing good, but you have to think Brunson's going to take away from that a little bit. I think Josh Hart's in probably a tough spot. I just can't pay $9K for Brunson, and I can't. Probably not going to pay $9,800 for Cat. He hasn't done shit in these matchups, but not that many studs. Not as many great studs on the slate. So maybe you play them at low ownership. I probably won't though. I think it's a tough spot. So, Mangone, I'm probably low on this game in general. The more I look at it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I definitely want to be lower on this game. Also, we do have a Mike Malone quote. Remember when Taylor Jenkins got fired, JSU?
Yes.
He was quoted when that happened. They asked him about it, and he said, for Taylor to get fired at this late stage of the season, for them to be where they are is really shocking and odd. I just can't wrap my head around it. And then he got fired 11 days later in the same situation. So that was funny.
I mean, maybe there was maybe he knew that there was something come down the old line and threw that quote out there. Like I couldn't believe they would do something like that so close. Now look at the Grizz. What are they in? The 8th spot now in the West.
Yeah,
they've fallen so far.
Yeah, it's like if I was on a show with you, JSU, and you were someone said like, "Oh, fire Mangone," and I would be like, "They would never fire me" or something, and then I knew I was getting fired the next day or something. That would be that.
You're out. You're doomed now, Mangone. You're screwed.
I'm doomed. Gotta watch out. All right, Pelicans. Brooklyn Nets. I saw someone asking in the chat about Misi before. If you actually sort by projection in this game, Misi is the second best projection in this game that we have so far.
Good.
And here's another way to put it, JSU. Who do you think is the highest projected guy in this game, and what is his projection? Right, like typically in a game, like the best projected guy is like 40 or 50 DK points. Who do you think is the best projected guy in this game, and what is his projection?
Bruce Brown?
No, it's Jose Alvarado at 6'5", and
I'm thinking he was already. Oh, because he's available. Okay, I didn't see that update.
Yeah, he's available. The guys that are in and out. So I will go through that. Kelly Olynyk in, Jose Alvarado in, Bruce Brown questionable, Jordan Hawkins he's out, Day'Ron Sharp, Russell, Keon Johnson, Cam Johnson, and Claxton. Claxton's in. The rest of those 4 guys I said are out. So. Best projected guy is 30.8 DK points right now for us, JSU. If I sort by Saberson, let me see if there's something that's a little better.
It's gotta be like Beekman and some of those guys. Gotta be high. Messi?
Yeah, I'm trying to look because these might not be completely updated, but I mean, Beekman's at 22 right now, which isn't completely terrible, but I'll go through it all. There's clearly value here in this game that we can get exposure to if we want. Claxton, Watford, they're both the top projected guys on the Nets. Drew Timmy, if he ends up starting out of nowhere, 4.8K, he's got a good projection. Zaire Williams seems like a guy that's going to just play a lot of minutes in a lot of different spots. Beekman, you nailed it with that. It could be a Derek Whitehead, but we need the starting lineup, JSU, right? That's going to really help us make the decision on which Nets are the best. For sure. As Caleb says, NBA is a total fuck fest this time of year.
Yeah, I'll just say one thing about the Nets. I don't want to be a part of the Nets, but they might make it hard with who they start. You know, if we get like they're clear. I think they don't want to play Trendon Watford more than like mid-20s minutes. But like Zaire Williams, I don't know if they want to play him. I think it's more these other guys, the Beekmans, the Whiteheads, the Maxwell Lewis, Tosan. Those are the type of plays that I'm looking at from Brooklyn. I just want to see who they start though, because if they start one or two of those guys, Mangone, I think they're probably pretty good plays. But I'm not trying to force in any of these top tier plays, the Timmy, Watford, Claxton, unless I see for some reason, like, let's say Claxton doesn't start, then like I would like the bigs more, but I don't think that's going to happen. So yeah, I'm looking at these guys after the top, like 3 or 4 projected guys for Brooklyn. I don't really trust them as much minutes wise. And then the New Orleans side, I'd also be careful with their top projected guys because I've seen them even when in, you know, it feel like they were kind of holding back some of their minutes, like Kelly O, Jose Alvarado. So, you know, Bruce Brown we saw play a bunch of minutes last game, but a ton of guys were out. I like Messi. I think Reeves is interesting, but I'd want to see him starting for sure to play him. And yeah, I think Messi's my favorite play on the other side. So, you know, not a ton here for me as much as I would like. But I think it's just due to the fact that I know these teams like don't want to push these top projected guys.
Yeah, I'm with you on Messi. He makes a lot of sense. If Bruce Brown ends up being in there, he could definitely be a good play. But we got to see what happens. And they have guys, right? I mean, altogether they have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. They have 11 guys. So they can mix it around a little bit more than you would like. But I could see these guys paying off their tags. It's just a really weird situation. The starting lineups are going to help us dictate a lot of those decisions in that game. And we'll be in the Discord chat breaking all that down for you. Minnesota, Milwaukee Bucks. That is the next game up. Injury news on this game. Giannis, expect to be back. Dame's still out. Bobby Portis, welcome back. Jericho Sims, he is out. I know Pat Connaughton is questionable. The only guy on the Timberwolves we're really looking at is Terrence Shannon Jr. He is questionable. So Timberwolves are kind of loaded with their guys. You can make a case. I always like guards against Milwaukee, so I would like Ian Edwards as a stud to spend up for. I know you talked about not being a lot of studs to like here, JSU, but I think he's in play. You can make a case for DiVincenzo as a value if you want, but it could just be too good of a slate value-wise to do that. And then Giannis as a spend makes some sense if you want to. Not the easiest matchup, though, but this spot's a little more crowded, right? Bobby Portis, 6K, he's back. All these price tags, not saying they're all inflated, but they're up for no Bobby Portis, right? Same with like the Kevin Porter Jr.'s, the Ryan Rollins. So matchup 2 is against Minnesota. It's just not a good spot. So I think the Bucks are almost a fade besides Giannis. And then Timberwolves, they look like they're almost a fade unless your name's Ian Edwards and you're like a cheap value guard maybe. But that's really it for me, JSU. How about you?
Yeah, I think you hit it perfectly. Like it's the studs. It's Ant. It's Giannis. This is a game where I'm going to spend up. I'm probably not going to play any of these value plays because we're just going to have better ones. So I don't feel the need to have to get to them. And then, yeah, it's just going to, you know, so like Ant and Giannis, I think are going to fit in some lineups just because of how much value we're going to have here. So yeah, I like it. It's a big game. Obviously Minnesota is one of those teams too. They're in that like they're kind of tied with a bunch of teams. So like these games still matter, you know, between them being in the play-in and them being, you know, not really. So they're definitely fighting for wins. You know, I'll play some Ann Edwards in that situation. And Giannis has been really good the last couple games. So, you know, I do think you have to consider him. I don't see any other plays, though.
All right, let's get to the final game of the slate, and it's a good one, JSU. It's Lakers and OKC. Could be a fun one to actually watch because we got them all healthy, right? It sounds like they're all playing Luka, LeBron, Reeves. So all these studs have to be in play, I think. Not interested in much else. I think it's mainly the studs for me on the Lakers, on the OKC side of the ball. All these guys are not really going to be owned. We do have some news. It's not a lot, but we should at least mention what's going on with the OKC side of the ball. So here are the guys that are going to be in or out. Jalen Williams is questionable. And then they're still missing Dieng, Dukas, and Mitchell. So not big pieces of news, but Jalen Williams could affect some of those rotation guys. Maybe it helps those big men a little bit out. But some of their prices are up, JSU. I think maybe a Hartenstein or an SGA or a Jalen Williams this spend are fine to get like sprinkles up, but I don't need to load up on them. And similar to the Lakers, it's mainly the studs here, so I'm not excited about the values. I'll play some earlier values instead. What's your thoughts on this final game of the slate, though, Jason?
Yeah, I'm not excited to play Lakers here. I will probably reserve them for tomorrow. I do think that SGA coming off of the loss where he got, you know, 30 minutes. They didn't push him, and he got 0 Mangone, 0 free throw attempts in that game. He scored 47 fantasy points with 0 free throw attempts. The past 2 games, Lakers and Houston, he has gotten 2 free throw attempts against Houston, 0 against the Lakers. Is this the league starting to slowly show him what the playoffs are going to be like? Like, is this them like?
I mean, I'm in for it. I mean,
we gave you the MVP SGA, but we're not going to give it to you when it comes to the playoff time. Like, but that's different.
This is what's the problem with the sport, JSU. Like, that's not how it should be played. Like, the game is just played stupid. Playoff
we all know that they call it differently in the playoffs. We all know that.
I know.
I agree. I agree with you, but I'm just saying that's the facts. We know. But it's called a lot. It's called a lot. You know, they're a lot. They're going to let a lot more go, and you know, I wish that they did that all throughout the year. Honestly, I think majority of people do. To be honest with you, I think majority of people like more the way they officiate in the postseason than the regular season, but that's the way they do things. And I will expect, though, he probably gets a lot more calls tonight, and he's probably going to score like 55 here. So I think he's a stud that I'm going to keep in my pool. I think he's got, you know, upside here in this spot. I'm not playing any of these other OKC guys, though. They feel overpriced. Like they all kind of feel pretty much overpriced for what their roles are. So, yeah, I'm out on the rest of them. It's just SGA for me. No Lakers.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
I can't do KPJ with, you know, Giannis there, and now they got Bobby back. I know you don't look at them and say same positions, but I think it's a tough matchup to do. Coming off 2 nut games, I'm staying away from KPJ. Mangone, what about you?
Yeah, at 4.8, it's just too much in this situation, so I'm not interested. Even if he starts, I wouldn't be interested. There's just better values to get to. So, all right, let's get the plays of the day, and then we'll get on out of here. The MLB show is starting up soon, so you can go hang out and, you know, check it out with them. If you subscribe to the channel, you can find that out. But hit that like for us, too. We would appreciate it. JC, let's give out plays of the day. I don't know if you have one ready. I got one, I think. I thought we'd get more value. We're definitely not getting as much as I thought, but do you have your play of the day ready to go?
I think we'll get some good value by the time.
It'll come, right? It's early.
Yeah, it's It's definitely going to come. And I'll stay away from the Chicago because I do think we're just going to get good value in that spot. But play of the day, I'm going to go with Paulo here. Paulo 9,800. I know I'm going to spend up for one of those guys. It's going to be Paulo 9,800 in this spot. I think he's going to crush here against the Hawks. So give me Paulo at home.
All right. Paolo Banchero it is. I'm going back and forth. If I give a stud, do I give a value? Let me look at ownership on the guy that I'm considering. One I know is going to be low owned, but I'm debating the other one. I'm just going to do it. He could end up being chalkier if the news hits, but I've been kind of on a streak of just targeting Washington. I'm going to target Washington with Tyrese Halliburton at 9.1K. Load up with him up top. And Jesse, it kind of fits on the theme of the slate. I don't think we like the 10K and up studs today. I think we like the 9K, the 8K guys a little bit more. Maybe it's a day to play like Banchero, Mobley, Halliburton. Instead of going for like 2 of those guys, go for 3 of them.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad route to go.
I think I'm with you. It's a good day.
Yep. We're aligned on that. So, hey, I'm going to be on Tyrese. I think it's a good spot. We'll hope Siakam is out. And if he's not out, I don't care. I still think he's going to be a pretty good play. So I want to keep targeting that Washington Wizards team. All right, JC, that will wrap it up for us. Thanks a lot for joining us on the show. If you want anything else, again, use that code RPS15, get you 15% off. Go over to DraftKings, deposit $10, get a ticket into the Masters contest. That's all you got to do, $10. We don't get anything from it. So just trying to help you out so you can get a free entry to try to win $1 million over on DraftKings.com. But for me, Mangone, and JSU, we'll see you guys later.